What's up, guys? We're back again, and we're going to go over this week's trade reviews. What are the potential trade setups that you could have taken with the bias that I gave you on this week's weekly analysis. So our bias was bullish for the week, and as you guys can see, we did close with a bullish candle. I did mention that we would get above these equal highs, possibly throughout the month. We have not gotten there yet, but we gotten pretty close with just this first weekly candle that opened up for June. So we'll see how we continue going up. I will be giving you guys a weekly analysis video for this upcoming week, but for today, we are only going to be reviewing the trade setups that we could have taken for this week if you would have taken in consideration my bullish weekly bias for this week. Okay, I will try to throw in some stuff for you to learn, and so pay close attention with any details that I might explain throughout the potential trade setups. And if you guys remember on the last on the weekly analysis, I did mention that we were above this down candles or this down weekly candles opening price, and we should just expand from there. And you guys can see that's exactly what we did. I'm just going to place a horizontal line there. That way we know that's the opening price. We're going to go down to the daily time frame now. Okay, on the daily time frame, if you guys can see, this is Monday's trading, which was upside. Tuesday's trading, which was also upside. Wednesday's trading, which also turned, it kind of consolidated, but it did open, sorry, closed higher. And Thursday's trading, which, I mean, initially we did have a really nice run, and you guys will see that right now on the lower time frames. But then overall, we had a retracement just to keep on going higher on Friday. We will be, like I said, reviewing each day. And before I head down to any lower time frames, I want you guys to look at these levels here, which is an imbalance, as you guys can see, a daily imbalance, and we use that as a potential buy setup for Thursday and Friday, or it could have been a potential buy setup. Also, if you guys want to know anything else important, um, you could also outline this daily down candles open. Okay, so let me just change the color of these so they don't. Wait, that's the text. Just gonna change the color of these. That way we don't confuse it with the daily, or sorry, the weekly candle that we outlined earlier. So let's do this and this one. Okay, these two continuous horizontal lines are the daily fair value gap on the left side or imbalance, and this is the opening of the daily. So, and this is the weekly down candles open as well. So let's head down to the 4 hour time frame. And if you guys recall, the weekly analysis that I gave you guys was mainly on higher time frame levels. And that's really the levels that you want to frame your trades around of. That way you could get the most out of it, the most juice out of your trade. So here we are on the 4 hour time frame. And I'm gonna go ahead and well, let's go first down to the hourly time frame, and we're gonna go ahead and separate each trading day. So this is Sunday's opening right there, and we're gonna get Monday's closing, which would be right here. So that would be that'd be Monday's trading day. Now let's go and get Tuesday's which would be right here. We're gonna go ahead and get Wednesdays. Should be right there. And Thursdays. And lastly, this would be Friday. Okay. So let's hop back up to the 4 hour time frame. And now we have the full weekly range for this week outlined here. So as you guys can see on Monday, we did head down and we started rejecting. That's when I mentioned it could just keep on going higher for the objectives, which it pretty much did, at least came up above this short-term high here. And we can see, here, let me change the visibility here. That way they're not bothering us right now. All right, so we changed the visibility that way. It only shows on lower time frames than the 4 hour. And so on the 4 hour, we're going to start marking also our key levels here. You guys can see this reaction here on the 4 hour imbalance headed up. We also have these down candles opening, and we'll just change the color to this magenta or pinkish. And we also have this here, but it's not going to make much of an importance, so I'll leave it there just in case we could see something on the lower time frames. Lastly, I'm just going to outline this imbalance here. So the blue squares is also on the 4 hour time frame. We haven't placed any squares either on any other time frame. So just remember this is a 4 hour time frame. And now we should head down to the 1 hour. Or before I do head down to the 1 hour, I want you guys to look at this, okay? So we had higher prices for the week, trying to look for higher prices at least. The reason I was started looking for higher prices is because we did come down here for the short-term low. We rated that and also hit an imbalance up here. So we'll see if we find another example just like this on lower time frames for a daily setup um on throughout the week of this week that we just had. So this is a setup model that you can adopt to your trading and just look for a short-term low with an imbalance. It's a really good model to follow, and you guys could follow up for buy side, which could be this high for your first take profits, and obviously the bigger liquidity for another take profit. But remember this model. We might go in depth through it later on, possibly not on this video, but maybe on a different one. But we'll try to see if we find this exact same model on the lower time frames. So let's go down now to the 1 hour time frame. And this is Monday's trading. As you guys can see, it did continue heading up to the upside. Let's go to 15 minutes. We're going to analyze each day on the lower time frames. Okay, we're going to go day by day for the lower time frames. So you guys can see we had New York Stock Exchange open here with this 9:30 a.m. candle. We shot up to the upside, creating a nice imbalance. We came down to rebalance, came down, and right off the bat, uh, this could be a model that I just showed you on the 1 hour time frame, I believe it was, or 4 hour. Yeah, the 4 hour, right? You have your imbalance and the short-term low that it rated. Okay. Let me just go to the 1 minute time frame to see if the setup there, if the setup can be there on lower time frames. Yep. So that would be your setup, the short-term low and an imbalance for you to frame the trade on. Price head up, came back down, tapped on the top end of the imbalance, so that could be your entry. Stop loss would be below this low, and you could look for higher prices or for the end of the close of the day, right? So if you head up for higher prices looking for the opposite swing high or low, this would be it. That would give you a really nice 6-to-1 risk to reward. If you're looking for the close of day, then you'd be looking for a really nice 9-to-1 risk to reward. Now, these setups would be asking too much of you if you're barely starting off, especially not especially, but even for experienced traders, it's something a little bit unrealistic, but with enough experience and enough time on the charts and looking at these patterns day by day, I could be possible for you to actually get these rewards, or at least frame a really good trade like this. So I'm just showing you the key basics or fundamentals of things to look at to find these high probability trades, right? One is to frame um your key levels on higher time frames and look for setups around those key levels. Another thing is to have a model, right? A model, consistency model that you know that will show on the charts and give you a high probability win rate. So sticking to those fundamentals could help you a lot on catching good trades. So now let's that would be a good trade on Monday. We did see that it was heading up as our directional bias was framed as a buy side. And now we're gonna go ahead and look at Tuesday's trading day. All right, so let's head back up to the 1 hour time frame, and you guys can see how Tuesdays came down into the imbalance, or what was this? I think it was the 4 hour imbalance, right? Okay, looks like it was actually the opening of a daily candle. No. Mm, okay, I'm lost now. Let's see. I think it was the daily. Okay, yeah, it was the daily imbalances down here or over here. So we have the two daily imbalances right there, and we head down to the 1 hour time frame. You guys can see how price traded down into that imbalance and also 4 hour imbalance here. So this is a really high probable trade right here, right? You have a daily imbalance supporting price, you have bullish bias supporting price, and you also have a 40 hour imbalance, 4 hour imbalance supporting price. So that would be a good area to look for buys. Now we would have to frame the setup, right? Or frame the entry. Let's go down to lower time frames, 30 minute. Isn't really much to look at on the 30 minute. So let's go down to the 15 minute. Tuesday. There it is, Tuesday. Okay, this would be the 15 minute. And as you guys can see, on the 15 minute, we have pretty much the same model. This is an imbalance, a daily, sorry, the weekly imbalance, and these two blue lines here are a daily imbalance. So by using that imbalance, we just wait for a short-term low of liquidity to be ran out, which it did below these lows, and this low right here would be our short-term low as well. Came down, we wait for price to head up, and we look for an imbalance entry, which you guys can see here on the 15 minute. We also get that imbalance. So framing a trade setup with an entry just on top of the 15 minute imbalance, stop loss below the low, that would frame a good trade setup. Where would be your buy or sorry, your take profit? You could look for take profit above the high up here and look for an expansion higher or close at the close of the day, right? This is where the daily candle closes. You close your trade just below, just before the daily candle actually closes. That would give you about an 8-to-1 risk to reward trade setup using pretty much the same model I explained on the 4 hour. It's you get another opportunity there. So that was Tuesday. Now let's head up to the 1 hour again and look for the Wednesday's opportunity, which Wednesday was a little bit of consolidated on the 1 hour. We could see how it is. It looks quite consolidated, but we do have an imbalance here where it traded to. So let's mark that on the 1 hour time frame. And if you guys want, we could change the color as well to white. And so let's head down to the 15-minute time frame and see what happened here. So we have the 1 hour imbalance. We also have a 15-minute imbalance. And we have a short-term low get rated. So now we're going to see if there's anything on lower time frames that gave us a buying opportunity with an imbalance after that short-term low was rated. So let's go to the 1 minute time frame. And we did expand up quite fast. But it did go too fast for my liking. You could use this imbalance for a buying opportunity, but to be honest, I would not have used that as an entry. We do, however, on the same 1 minute time frame after we've already came down into the 15-minute or in 1 hour imbalance down here, rated the low. We did create the same setup on the 1 minute time frame by having the low get rated. We expanded up, came down into this imbalance rate. And Okay. So if we would have framed our buying opportunity on the top and as an entry and stop loss below the low here, last low. Yes, price did come below the imbalance, but if you guys can see, these down candles are in order block, and that's what kept price from crashing down and rating the low, right? Because it stayed inside of the zone of the order block as well. So you could have also waited just for another expansion up and then testing the imbalance once again to shoot up. But this is just a model. You guys can refine it later, or I could help you refine it. There's also other ways to put your stop loss a little bit tighter than the previous low, but I'm gonna just leave that for a different video. Right now, we do just want to concentrate on entries and where entries could potentially form. Okay, so if you take the same setup, it'd be the same thing, and you would be looking for take profit above the previous high, which is that one, giving you almost a 3-to-1, which is not bad at all. If you wait for the closing, then in that case, you would have had some drawdown and closed at a 1-to-1. Okay, so it's not always good to close in after the day closes. You always want to check on other factors that could indicate that it's possibly not going to have a higher closing, right? That we might actually start retracing, but that's other factors that you need to take in consideration. We'll possibly look into that later on as well. Um, then we have Thursday's trading here. Was a bit of consolidation, but then we came up and rated this high up here. If you guys remember, this is the high of the 4-hour time frame, where normally with the same setup that I showed you here, that I've been showing you throughout all this video, that's one of the take profits that you would take, right? Why? Because it can retrace down into a retracement to head up higher. So on Thursday, there could have been, although the directional outcome of the day is more of a downside. It's just coming down for Friday to buy up, right? Because if you guys can see on the 4-hour time frame, this only came down for the 4-hour imbalance. And let me take this out. Also for the daily down candle, as you guys can see, that's exactly what it tested. So that did set up a trade or opportunity there on the higher time frames. But I'm going to show you here on Thursday how you could have also taken a buy entry, even though it did close as a down candle. Now, one key point is to consider is this high up here. As you guys can see, we rated it once, twice, and then came down. So this would have been your objective, since on Wednesday and Tuesday we have not gone to that high. Thursday would have most likely done so. So let's see if we have anything on the 15-minute. And on the 15-minute, we guys can see that we did take out these lows here. So let's place our line there for our sell side for that day. And you could see how after taking the sell side on the 5-minute, you guys can see how we expanded up, left an imbalance. So what does that mean? That means you have a point of entry, which would be on that high. Stop loss would be below the low. Almost close on getting stopped out, but we managed to free the stop loss, right? You could also use this slow, since this slow was the one that actually rated these lows down here. But either one, you would have still not gotten stopped out. And you guys can see this would give you a good 1.7, almost 2 to 1 trade. Not all trades are the same. Some risk to rewards are different due to the trading volume and candlesticks as well. But if you use different time frames, you could also frame better risk to reward setups, right? So let's head up down to the 1 minute and see if there's anything that the 1 minute could have provide better risk to reward. So you guys can see that we in fact traded down here into the sell side. There hasn't really been much fair value gaps left yet. I mean, there's this tiny one. Your stop to be safe would be below the low that rated the sell side, which would be this one. And then we also had a really nice expansion here, giving us indication that it is going to start heading up. And then here, this here is a more pronounced price pattern, right? Like you could see how this imbalance really had intention to keep on going higher rather than this one here. So this is the one that I would have liked to take. Stop loss would be below the low. Then again, there's other ways to frame your stop loss. That way you could get higher risk to rewards, but I'm just not gonna go into that here. But this here would have gave you a 2 to 1 risk to reward, which is also good. Possibly we would have reduced our stop loss, then we would have gotten a higher 4 to 1. But that would be for probably next week's video. I'll show you guys tips to refine stop loss and all that. But for now, I think that's it. This is NFP day, which was Friday. We did have an imbalance, a short-term low get rated, and a really good push to the previous high. Okay, so that's another trade that you could have taken. Honestly, I don't trade NFP Friday at all, but that's up to you. If you want to trade it, you could try it and try to look for setups there, but I wouldn't really recommend it. So there's really good setups every day that you guys can see showed on using the bullish bias. I'm going to be providing more weekly bias throughout each week for you guys. That way, um, I could help you guys out or give you guys some value and some support on your trading, right? That way you guys could get better results on your trading as well. So if you found value in this video, the best way to let me know is to comment on the video or even just drop a like. Your participation does make a difference on my decision to keep posting the same type of content. So please leave a like or a comment if you'd like to make a difference. With that said, I hope to see you again and have a good day today. Take care.